What's up, people? Jumpin' Podcast, episode 19. New member.
Yeah.
What up, F word?
What up, homies? What's going on, man?
We got the
How you
fucking.
guys doing?
We got the Capcom Cup main event commentators here. Special people.
New signings. It's all
I'm
exciting.
just enjoying some of these Ibuki buffs, you know. I'm saying, man. Oh, shit's on my lips. Oh.
In all honesty, I haven't really looked at them. Like, I'm pretty sure. Well, no. So, who was it that was saying that Ibuki really hasn't changed at all?
She kind of hasn't, but she doesn't need to. This is the thing. I bitch a lot, so people think that she needs a lot of changing because I bitch a lot.
Well, that's a top tier strategy, right? So, like, all the Laura players bitched loads, and like.
Oh man, they killed it. I didn't bitch
just
enough.
complain about your character, or like all year.
Or you could just be like me, man. Just keep your shit a secret. And now Bison's pretty good. Well, no, he's going to be upper mid. He can't be top tier.
I think you can thank Problem X a tiny bit, just a tiny bit for that. Not much, just a tiny bit. Because seriously, like that character, yeah, he needed help. People could see that. He's supposed to be the Shadow Moon Lord, man. Come on, can't be like. Anyway, we'll see. I'm liking his changes. He looks legit, man. I think he deserved it as well. We'll see if it's not too
3
much.
days. Not long to wait.
We can get to that. Let's start off with Capcom Cup and how and your experience. And how did you guys even get the top 8 slot? Because I know you guys were talking about that last year, and this year you guys did it. ESPN and everything.
We're the best. That's why. That's what happened.
It's not a decision. It's not like a decision we made, or even it's not a decision we pushed for. You know what I mean?
They wanted a European voice. That's it, isn't it?
Just happened.
They wanted the best.
I think they just wanted. I think they just wanted, like, because it's ESPN and you know what the commentators are like on that. I think they just wanted a certain level of energy. Like, would be my pick. I think maybe we suited that more than other options at the time. You know, but yeah, man, I wasn't complaining. That was awesome. We got the email and I was like, they actually asked, "Do you want to do this?" Would you believe that?
Did you guys know like a week ahead of time, or was it decided the day before?
Yeah.
We knew it was decided a while before.
Well, I mean, good stuff. Congrats. I think most of the viewers enjoyed it because it was you guys are the underdog heroes, and now you guys made it, and now you guys are going to be hated next year. It's going to be awesome.
That's the circle, right?
Yeah. They're going to want. They're going to want fucking.
Sajam, Tasty, Steve are going to be the people's champs.
Yes,
they're fucking good anyway, man.
Yeah, I love those guys. They're awesome.
The ESPN broadcast and the Twitch broadcast was the same, was it?
Yeah, basically. It was basically, yeah. They were using the same. Well, no, they were using that. They used the same footage, basically.
So, but there was commercials, obviously, so they just cut up.
Yeah, they cut it. They recorded it, did post production, cut it down to like 72 minutes or whatever. And
so did they use the same audio as well? Because I haven't had a chance to see it. Did they use the same audio as we had? Because the Twitch viewers had great audio in comparison to the stadium viewers.
They used the Twitch full name. F.
Yeah, I know they used full name as well.
What is that right there?
Should have given them one of them Logan responses, but I don't have the balls. Nah, really, that was a bit. Come on, man. Where'd that come
Logan
from?
Responses? You mean the kind, heartwarming?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the really subtle. Hey guys, listen. Don't mean to be a prick. You know.
This is my opinion, and it's just how it is.
I mean this in the nicest way possible. Any chance that you guys could possibly amend that thing that you got wrong about me? Thanks. I'd really appreciate it. You know, that kind of email. Yeah, at least something like that.
Look at Logan. Sick of us already.
Such a nice. Look at that innocent face. Look at. If you saw that guy, you'd think, what a nice guy, right? You know, he's actually really like. He is a very nice guy. He is. Just don't mess with him. Yeah.
Or ask me for arcade.
Right, what do you want to talk about first?
Well, I mean, let's just start off with Capcom Cup.
America best in the world.
Yeah, America, we did it.
Wow.
I mean, yes. In reality, it's just Knuckle Dude that held us on his shoulders, but it is.
Oh, really?
He had a history, right?
What are you talking about? Ricky
had a 1-2.
Japanese person played.
Yeah. Sorry, Ricky. My bad.
Come on, kid.
Ricky
Taking credit away like that.
And
that's just your Vietnamese bias, man. That's what it is.
It is. Hey, Vietnamese Americans, we make evil happen, man.
whatever. You're pretty much Japanese now. I see you when you're watching the streams. This guy cheers for every Japanese person. I say one negative thing about a Japanese player on Twitter, he's the first one to respond defending them every single time.
That is the most accurate statement I've ever heard in my life.
You sit together with Giuna watching, right?
Huh?
You sit together with Giuna watching, right?
Yeah, I don't have any financial gain in who I root for, so I'm just gonna root for who I want to root for. I was rooting for Ricky. In all honesty, I was like, "Come on, win this!" But second for I don't know 6 major Evos or something like that. I mean, come on. But he at least Ricky did well.
I'll tell you what, Ricky spent the whole year playing good, but then suddenly, I mean, did anyone see that coming? Like
no.
that performance in the top 32. Where did that come from?
We made a point of that actually because like you had 5 Chun-Lis there?
Yeah, a lot.
And you wouldn't expect Ricky to be the one that got the furthest out of all of them based on form.
Most respectful way.
She beat all of them as well. Like it wasn't
right.
MOV.
Did Ricky beat MOV though in this tournament?
Especially, yeah.
I remember.
Because I remember in Korea, because I was in Korea and MOV destroyed Ricky really, really bad. And so like from seeing that, I was like, oh, Ricky will never beat MOV or something, but maybe.
I'll tell you the one that did me was when Ricky had to play Kazunoko. And I was like, listen, man, Ricky's run is done. I said that to Logan, like, this is it. Kazunoko's on fire. The way he demolished Haitani, I was like, nah, man, this guy's on a mission. And Ricky said to Knuckle Dude before going up, I'm gonna effing destroy him. That's what I said. Destroy him.
Oh, you're right. Sorry,
so
Kazunoko and Knuckle Dude beat MOV. My bad. Sorry.
I mean, it's not like there wasn't a bajillion CP.
My bad.
When that match came on, that Ricky just absolutely annihilated Kazunoko. It was almost embarrassing, man. Like, so it wasn't a fluke. It was legit. Like that, the way that Chun-Li was being played there, that was the best Chun-Li of the day by some distance. It wasn't like
What about
deserves positioning.
What about Justin, Tokido, and Infiltration and going out 0-2?
So I did not take it upon myself to bitch about the game because of those results. I honestly think that was kind of stupid that people were going like, oh, the game's random, the game's
I won money on Infiltration. I won money on the Infiltration match against Human Bomb. I won money.
You bet against Infiltration?
Yeah. We were talking about it beforehand. How like it's not a good matchup.
Oh wait. You mean on BET 365?
His head a couple of times this year as well.
And DRA, I bet on DRA against Takedo as well.
I can't believe you bet on that. That's just mad. You're a dog.
Those odds were insane.
Yeah.
He was 1 to 49. I tried to work out what that was in American because like it's
the way they do
that's like minus 1,300 in American bets.
Minus 1,300.
If you lose, who cares, man? Yeah, it was really good.
So yeah, I just put a small bet on the DRA and won quite a lot of money because it was the odds were ridiculous.
Just to clarify, if anyone isn't aware, the UK betting agencies actually put odds on Capcom Cup, official odds, and you could bet up to £100, I think it was, per match. They capped it, obviously, to avoid corruption. But wow, Logan very, very cleverly picked the right ones. And I'll tell you what was really funny. Everyone had those dream brackets, those fantasy brackets.
Yeah.
And I think it was who was
in any of them.
No, exactly. So it was Tasty.
Well, no, we said it was after the first 2 matches, wasn't it? They were all pretty much gone.
Yeah, exactly. That's the funny thing. After the first 2 matches, everyone was done. But but NASA and Tasty Steve were walking around like smiling, like I called it. I called that shit, nigga. I knew it was gonna happen. They were like over the moon. They were just walking around like, see, now the rest of the bracket's gonna play. Then Tokido lost to DRA, and
then everyone was fucked.
Was gone. It was bad enough that they predicted what they predicted so far, Justin Wong and Infiltration. But then when Tokido lost to DRA, it was like nobody in the world had picked that. So just everyone's bracket died straight away. GG's.
I mean, Justin losing to Sacco is not too surprising, to be honest with you. I think most of us knew that that was going to be really difficult for Justin anyway.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad draw for a guy with 1,400 plus points or whatever it was.
But F Champ beating Justin in losers bracket is pretty good for F Champ, I think.
Yeah, I think people don't see enough, but they play a lot, obviously. But we don't see that matchup enough on the stream. I guess between them, it wasn't a surprise. But for the people viewing,
F-Champ notoriously has a pretty good record against Justin. It doesn't really matter the game, Marvel or even Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5, obviously.
Psychological matchup is in his favor.
Do you think Ricky's got that over him as well? I remember Street Fighter 4, Ricky just used to body him. Yeah. Just accuracy. I don't see him playing this game too much.
In NorCal, Ricky has a lot of respect. Like, there's a huge mental block with Ricky and back in the day, Choi. Like, those guys were invincible back then.
So we were thinking as well, we were looking as well, and if you look at the losers bracket run of Kazunoko, the fortunate thing is for Ricky, because every match was on stream, right? For top 8. So the fortunate thing for Ricky is she got to see Kazunoko play against Goichi and that went to a 5th game. So that's a lot of data. She got to see Kazunoko against MOV. Again, that went to a 5th game. So that's a lot of data. So you've got to watch 10 games of how Kazunoko plays against the best Chun-Lis in the world before you have to play him in losers final, whatever it was. That doesn't account for wiping him out 3-0. But it definitely helps, right? If you get to see how your opponent plays against the other best Chun-Lis in the world that much.
Yeah.
There's a lot of data.
He said before he went in, the words were, he has no footsies in this matchup. He just kind of plays it. So I'm just going to abuse the ground against him. And, Cammy can play footsies against Chun-Li. But actually, after Ricky said that, I went and watched a few matches, and Kazunoko doesn't really engage in the ground war at all.
No, he doesn't at all.
Doesn't engage at all. So forcing him to play it just kind of destroyed him because he's not had a Chun-Li make him play that way. And he just couldn't adapt in time.
And we saw that Kazunoko wasn't really sort of hitting those crouch and medium kick confirms that maybe, say, K-Brad would do.
Has he got that down, Kazunoko? Because I see him do it sometimes, then I see him not do it. I don't think he's got it down.
I don't know if he confirms it on standing rather than actually on hit. I'm not sure.
You'd think a player of his caliber that you would practice, that would be easy, But
it's whether you put the time into it or not. I don't know. But yeah, it was definitely apparent. Definitely apparent. There was that sequence where he was just pressing fierce in the corner, man. And then just did the EX legs.
Yeah,
that was such a beat down.
That was just like that. That was just such a that was so descriptive of how that match went. It was just so dominant, such a dominant performance. But then it was a weird one because you had loser semi, so Kazunoko basically dominated Haitani, which was probably my favorite set of the weekend.
That was crazy.
Kazunoko playing out of his mind against a Haitani.
And people always forget about Kazunoko too. That's the odd part.
Yeah.
Oh, why? Yeah, even today.
I mean,
the season he's had, maybe.
He kind of doesn't win a lot, which is funny to say because obviously he was the reigning champion, but he didn't win a lot before on the way. Yeah. So, and that's kind of the same with Haitani. Actually, Haitani doesn't win events. Infiltration wins events.
So Kazunoko even won one CPT. Oh yeah, he did. It was an early one. Has he won any other ones though?
Was it a ranking?
Yeah, it was a ranking. Yeah, he didn't win a premier.
I think he won the Tokyo Button Masters one, right? He beat Yukadon. Yukadon got second, and then he got first. I do believe. Yeah, and then he beat Daigo, and Daigo and Nemo didn't win that one, so pretty sure. But anyway, people forget about him, and he's one of the best in the world.
And then, of course, Kazunoko got completely dominated by Ricky, and then Ricky got completely dominated by Knuckle Deuce. So it was kind of like
so clever. Because Ricky just doesn't have that high level Mika experience. It wasn't like Mika beats Chun. It was just Knuckle Dude did that the whole tournament. He picked.
He did it at Canada Cup,
not matchups.
Canada Cup. I think I saw that as well.
Knuckle Dude has a stranglehold on the entire community right now.
Yeah.
Season 1.
Season 1.
Yeah, how's season 2 gonna do, huh?
Mika. Mika's still going to be there. I think. I think people are writing her off too early.
The
She's
damage
still
is
the only
still
character.
there. Yeah, fundamentals are still there.
She just doesn't
She's
have
just got more.
that. Yeah, she doesn't have that. I'm going to touch you once and then you're going to be fucked thing, which is
with all these like
fine.
hack videos. Like I don't even know like how legit most of them are, because like now Mika has like an air combo or something like that. It's like jump, medium punch, and then whatever this is.
No, oh yeah, I saw that, the air target combo. Like, is that legit?
It doesn't
Someone
even
else,
look real
someone
to
else
me. It looks
does
dumb.
as well. Yeah, the way they fly down.
Karen, they give Karen that as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, Karen as well.
The hard punch, and it kind of slams it down. Looks like a Marvel Air S, you know.
It's basically Bison's strong, but then Bison has to do two of them, right? So he has to time one at a specific time. But Karen, it seems like she could just do it, land, and then I don't know, do up kicks.
Well, she could also just do the medium, which puts them in juggle state, which is probably the more rewarding option. And then
you got to do that late, right?
What's that?
So basically, you got to do it late on the way down so you land, and then you've got basically one juggle point left, because you know you can normally do just frame Tenko and then another Tenko again.
Yeah.
When you land, that Tenko that you do is the second Tenko in that juggle string.
Yeah.
So you can either do that and get one knockdown, or you can do like the EX and then do another EX to juggle and get corner carry and stuff. So you've got to use quite a lot of bar to get the.
So that's a legit change, isn't it, Logan? You were there on Friday for the party. You put your hands on it.
Season 2 bonanza.
Exclusive season 2. Let the UK get better than the rest of the world party. Yeah, basically.
We need that, especially after what the US just did. We definitely need some.
Obviously,
you guys already have a world champ, man. Now the US has a world champ. We could have a world champ league. Who'd be from Japan though, or Asia? CN Infiltration. Yeah, Infiltration. There we go. Infill versus Knuckle-Doo versus Luffy with his. I don't know. He's gonna play Jury or something now. I heard some girl character for sure.
Luffy.
Yeah, he's not gonna play.
Yeah, he said he's not playing in season 2. But I think it's premature as well. I still think all these Mika, she's getting nerfed. She's getting hit with a nerf stick hard, probably justifiably. I still think she could still be the only character that does what she does. But
she'll be a secondary character for sure, because he put too much time in her. So no bad character.
The whole down forward fierce punch thing, like that was ridiculous anyway. You know what I mean? Like, why are you so upset that that's gone? That was stupid. Like, why should you not have to space your moves and just get back in? You know, that being minus every time now is a balance. So people just got to get better.
Well, that's the thing. They did space it, but they spaced it so that it was plus, and it was still her turn. That was the nonsense about it, because in the corner they auto spaced it right, so the shoulder hits meaty and you're +1, so she can just press jab afterwards.
If we're being honest, Mika is pretty brain dead. I mean, I know it's a meme also, but it's very true if you're in the know. You know, like you can just guess correctly and do well. I did the steps to get to.
I wouldn't have done the changes that they've done, because they really butchered her, man. Like the clap being -8 is ridiculous.
They took the OS out, so I mean that wasn't really fair. The OS whip, Irish whip or whatever.
To get the hit, yeah.
And
the corner carry.
They changed the corner thing.
It needed to go. That was ridiculous.
I would have just not let her switch you back into the corner personally, because that is
that's what I mean. I do mean like both corners, but that switch crossover and switch me back in. This is
like not letting her get the bounce back mid screen is kind of weird. But I mean, there's already combos anywhere where you can chase her down and do X shooting peach afterwards. So, my one pet peeve with Mika that did actually make her ridiculous in the corner was the fact that you couldn't V reversal forward fierce. Like that was just stupid, because the whole point of this game is if I choose to just block and you do something, I should be able to V reversal. That's the thing that they say like, you know, you don't need a reversal because you've got this mechanic, you should be doing that. You can't do that to Mika's corner pressure, because she can command grab you out of it. So it's you know, it's not that would be my number one first thing to change, but they didn't change it. They changed other stuff. It was really I feel like a lot of the balance changes are a really weird way of dealing with the characters. Like they dealt with things that are not specifically the problem with the character, or you know, like things that we're not really complaining about.
I mean, let's talk about the main system changes then, and get our opinions on that. Number one, obviously, DPs are not invincible anymore. I know you have your opinions on that.
I don't like that stylistically, not for a balance thing. I just don't like the idea of a Street Fighter game where the Dragon Punch, the signature move of Street Fighter games, is not invincible anymore. I don't like that. And I know people have said, "Oh, but Third Strike," but yeah, like Third Strike wake up reversals were kind of irrelevant because you had parries.
Third Strike.
What's the point
of reward too?
What's the point in exactly? What's the point in doing a DP when I can parry? So yeah.
Option select parry throw on your opponent's wake up, and there's no way to cancel that DP. There's no FADC. Wake up DPs were literally like almost pointless, you know. So,
okay, this is where most of the I believe this is where most of the complaints stem from. The people that are happy that the DPs are gone are characters that don't have DPs themselves. And because in Street Fighter, in Season 1, basically, if you get hit by Ryu or Ken or something, they woke up, they gambled, right? And then they can literally run over you because now they get to start their offense. And obviously, characters that don't have that option, they don't have that option, so they're a bit salty about it. So I think that's where a lot of it stems from. But obviously, like I do get your point. You know, why does Ryu and Ken have a DP then? Give him like another special or something like that. True.
I just feel like it feels weird. I can't even justify it on an overall game balance level. I feel like characters are balanced around what they have anyway, you know. But it just feels wrong. It's like having a fireball you can sidestep. You know, like that's not how.
It's like it's not Street Fighter anymore for me.
No, that's why command grabs. I should be able to tech them unless they're EX then, because that's the same principle, right? Like. That's not how they're meant. That's not how command grabs work in Street Fighter. You can't tech command grabs. Like.
Oh, that was the point of your whole tweet. Okay, now I get it.
Yeah, like you can't, like going around. Oh well, you know, like if you want a command grab that you actually can't tech, then you've got to use EX meter for it. You know, that's the same shit. Also, to do stuff that we take standard in Street Fighter, you have to spend buff. I don't know. It just.
Where the fuck did this new player mentality come from? Where like. Every character has to have the same level of tools anyway. Where did that come from? Everyone's like, oh, if I can't DP, then you shouldn't be able to DP. We're different fucking characters. Where did this?
That's properly shit.
And
you know.
By the way, I play a character who doesn't have a DP without EX, right? So
I played Dudley for 6 years.
My other characters don't too.
I think that mentality has always been here, though. You know, like people have always complained. It's just back in the day they didn't have Twitter or social media to
it's crazy, man. I feel like there's more of a force of those kind of people now than there were before. Maybe you're right, maybe they were always there, but the amount of opinions I'm hearing that kind of just don't make sense. It's almost like they just you might as well just play dive kick then if you want the differences between characters to be so linear. You know, like what makes you pick one character from the next? You know, it's just
what you have to
go ahead.
What you have to remember as well is like. People, it's easier for people to go on the internet and type a few lines of complaint than it is to sit down and work out a solution to something or train hard or get better in the game fundamentally. It's just easier to complain. And you see that in everything, every game ever made that has an internet community. You see it in every esport, you know, you see it in every other fighting game, you know, NRS games are really well known for people just complaining on forums and then stuff getting patched based on that. The thing that I really liked the most about Capcom games is how they basically just let stuff rock, and then you saw the top players in the world come with strategies to either mitigate the risk or directly counteract that stuff. And I think that's where the true beauty of Street Fighter was in seeing those elite players deal with stuff and see the matchups evolve and grow rather than I don't like this shit. So, let's nerf it. It's kind of like Chun's air legs. We all knew Chun's air legs was a bit dumb, but that
people
wasn't.
Around it.
Yeah, it's like not like at highest level, Chun's air legs was not really.
Yeah, you didn't even see it getting landed that much.
It wasn't like, oh man, you landed air legs. Oh, you're fucked now. No, not really. It's like, you had jump back to OS Tech. You've got people reacting with buttons. You're even seeing people dash underneath air legs and punish it now and stuff, so I feel like a lot of stuff was just in general, like they neutered a lot of stuff that didn't need to be neutered as much. Like making clap -8 is real bad for her.
They could have just changed it, made it minus something else, right?
Yeah,
that's
and
what
like
I'm
in
thinking.
a lot of the instances, well, they didn't need to do it for Chun because she's got so many fucking tools. But in a lot of the instances, they took stuff away and didn't really offer a different way of playing. So like Ken is obviously a character that I'm passionate about, not so much passionate about, but knowledgeable about because I've put time into learning how.
Your main, you know.
Well, it's that's the thing. Like Ken is my main by default because, you know, I played Dudley in Street Fighter 4. I played Akuma in Vanilla. You know, neither of those characters were in the game when it came out. Ryu's boring as shit. Let me just pick Ken. You know, fuck it. Like I'm gonna know how to do all of his moves because he's Ken, and the character design looked kind of cool. So let's just run with him. I don't really feel any sort of huge attachment to him. But I can see that the way Ken is built, it's beneficial to players to play a certain way, which is not very attractive, basically. Like, you watch out how effective Aita is. You watch out how effective the American Kens were at the start. It took Momochi a long, long time to get that play style down. And this is a man that played 12 hours a day, basically every day, to get to that level, to play like that. So to play Ken in a consistent way, and even then he wasn't winning.
What are your issues with Ken?
Well,
you mean the current Ken, right?
Yeah,
season 2
Ken. Season 2 Ken.
I mean season 2
take
Ken,
away, you change Air Tatsu, which was needed because it was not. It encouraged Ken players to just jump in the air and play rock paper scissors with you, because you're just doing various different versions of Air Tatsu.
So the change is now that there's not a lot of advantage. I mean, even if you hit at like their kneecaps or something, then
so they did two things. They increased the hurt box of normal Air Tatsu, so his bottom leg is actually there, so it's a lot easier to anti-air him because people will try and anti-air Ken Air Tatsu and your anti-air whiff and you get hit and then Ken's in on frame advantage. Then on top of
that's justified though? I mean,
yes, because that was not.
That one sounds legit.
Yeah, okay.
That sounds like a thought out though.
Yeah, you know, jumping at people and just being in a mix-up of whether I'm going to jump normally or do, something like that. I mean, there are no real dive kick characters in the game. Yes, there's Cammy. Yes, Nikali has a dive kick, but they're not really like Rufus, Yun kind of dive kick characters, right? So, you know, and it goes with what they did with Chun-Li, that changing your whole jump arc kind of thing.
The whole medium punch thing with Ken kind of gets on your nerves, right? Back medium punch. Is it crouching as well? That that's one frame slower now.
Yeah, so I'll get onto that as well in a minute. But so they increased the hurt box on Air Tatsu, which is cool. I think that's needed. It was not good, and it encouraged like scrubby shit, basically. Then they completely butchered the frame advantage from both Ken's EX Air Tatsu and Kami's EX Cannon Strike.
To what?
Which meant Ken's EX Air Tatsu, the EX dive kick, and Kami's EX Cannon Strike as well.
Right.
So both of them now, you have to be really, really specific in terms of your spacing to get any frame advantage.
Can you get frame advantage? I thought
is it zero or is it like minus or plus? Like +1 even?
You can hit them like below the knee and you get frame advantage. But it's like, if you ask any of the top Japanese players, they haven't got a problem with EX Air Tatsu. They're ducking it at that range where it hits high and you get 2 hits. They're walking underneath it at that range.
It's actually not even that fast either. It's just
exactly.
I see a lot of people anti-air it. I actually see it get anti-aired a ton.
Yeah.
So it's come to a point where they've mitigated the risk of that. They understand at the ranges where it's going to hit, what they can do. They can either anti-air it because it's going to hit them sort of here in the chest, or if it's going to hit you high in the head and you're going to get both hits and be plus, I can just duck and it's going to whiff and I'll punish you. So EX Air Tatsu wasn't really a problem. Yeah, you got clipped by it if you try to press a button or anti-air or whatever, but that's like run at the start, yeah? Do you know what I mean? Imagine if they'd done half-season balance changes and they'd made run like super negative, when realistically, now you rarely see people getting hit by run the way they were getting hit at the start, because you see it now, you react to it because he's -6. You press a jab and, whatever. Like, it's only when you're not ready that you're getting hit by, the Sanford special, which is just run, cancel, then press fierce again and get crush counter. So they're two things that, like, at high level, they weren't really a problem anymore. The same way that the same way that Chun-Li air legs wasn't really a problem anymore. There were other things that needed to be addressed. But what they did is, after taking away those air options, you'd think then, okay, let's like encourage the Ken to play better on the ground, right? He's an up close character. We want him dashing and running in and back pressure and all this stuff.
And his
you slow down.
Tools were affected from this.
Yeah, you slow down his back medium punch, which I don't understand, because the whole point of building back medium punch like that is it was a button that could be used in place of a light that has better priority than light. It's a 4-frame button, and yeah, it's annoying when people mash it in strings, but for me to mash a 4-frame button in your string, there has to be a big gap in your string, right? There's got to be a 3-frame gap in your string. And that shit's hard to confirm. It's not easy to confirm. You see, there's only one person in the world that even approaches 90% consistency with that. No one else is that consistent. No one.
They go straight into EX, most normal humans.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And then they nerfed his crouch and medium punch from 5 frames to 6 frames. Yes, it's got an extra frame of hit advantage, but it needs that because otherwise you can't combo into back medium punch, which is a frame slower as well. So with those changes, you've kind of like left him to play on the ground. And the reason why Ken players don't play on the ground in a number of matchups is because it's really disadvantageous for him to do so.
So are you going to keep using Ken then, or like where is this going to lead?
I think you'll see a lot of Ken players use Akuma because he does a shit ton of damage. He's got a load of tools. He's a lot slower and he's got less health. But I think like the health thing is not a massive deal because it's 875 and like having 900 health doesn't really stop Cammy from competing.
Yeah.
And Akuma does way more damage and stun than Cammy does. Way more. So
then
and we're already
a Akuma player then. I see.
I don't know. We'll see. My issue is I don't have a huge amount of time. So I'm going to try and stream a lot more next year though. And it'd be nice to learn Akuma and try and get better with Ken. Like my personal playing experiences do not reflect what I say because I'm approaching this from a theoretical and logical point of view, not like a personal playing experience. Because my hands can't do most of the shit my brain knows anyway. Like Femi will tell you that. He's been playing me for years. Like, I know what I can punish. I know what I can do to deal with a lot of stuff. I know what I should be doing on defense and offense. Fucking the hands don't do it though. So when I look at what they've done with Ken, I really appreciate taking away from that sort of YOLO bullshit style that a lot of the time he was playing, which is just jump at you and do tatsu and hit. Great, let me. Because that's shit, The same way that most Kens, when they have V trigger, are going to do two things. They're going to mash crouch and medium punch on whiff and buff a V trigger. Walk into it. And if you walk into it, it's going to confirm into V trigger cancel. They're going to run and do back medium punch, target combo, light DP, EX DP, and send you to the corner. Or they're going to swing that big hard kick. And if it hits, they're going to confirm that as well.
Well, I mean, okay. Well, let's talk good points that Ken. At least he still has corner loops. I've seen several tweets on that.
Still got throw loops, but most people have got throw loops in the corner.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I know Bison does, but it's not.
Did Bison ever have throw? Bison, by the way, can still do back throw into Psycho Axe.
Yeah, but that's not a big deal. Trust me, it's really.
Ibuki hasn't got throw loops in the corner.
So did Ibuki ever have throw loops in the corner?
Yeah, stand strong afterwards. Good shit.
Yeah, she's got some. No, to be fair, her meaty pressure's sick, so I can't complain. In the corner.
I mean, like
they gave Ken the weirdest buff. Okay, please. This makes no. This shows me.
I probably don't know this. Please, tell me.
Thinking.
Logan, so you know about this.
you know the kick target combo, right?
Yeah. Medium kick.
Yeah, hard kick. Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah. So what you normally follow that up with is fierce DP. Now,
yeah.
If you hit confirm it, if you tried to do heavy tatsu, the heavy tatsu would just whiff and they'd fly off, right? And you couldn't do it. Now you can actually do heavy tatsu after that target combo, which sounds great, right? You know, like cool, I get more corner carry, the same damage, more stun, awesome.
I like how
That
Akuma also has
works.
that move.
That only works if you're really close. It doesn't work at the range where you know the range that you do the medium kick, gonna clip them,
Yeah,
right?
With punish the throw.
So then,
Right, right.
Yeah,
it's not
that's
gonna
just-
combo anyway. Then,
it
at those
doesn't
ranges.
work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work at that range.
Just use EX,
So
man.
what's the
Jeez,
point?
I mean, why are you complaining? Just use EX.
No, I'm just going to do DPs. I'm
You-
just going to still do DP and get the same damage and less corner carry. But it's like, what? Like, I don't understand why you made that change. I don't see the logic behind it because, okay, cool, you've given us this new combo, but it doesn't work where we're using that button. That kind of shows me that you
See,
don't
for me, that's not a
understand.
buff.
It kind of shows that you don't understand.
The version that you played at the Christmas thingy, that's
This
for
has
sure.
been in every version. I've played 3 different versions. I played the PSX build, I played the Akuma build that we had on Winner's Days on last week, and I played this version, and that shit's been in all of them. Like, it doesn't work at the, not even max range. I'm talking like kind of far away. I've just played in your throw, and I'm with punishing your throw range. And it's like, that just shows me you don't understand how this button is used. You've added this thing in there, but it's irrelevant because that's not how people are
Imagine
using
if
medium.
people found out who
Yeah.
actually like controls the nerfs and the buffs.
I don't know. Like, there's
Address
things
and
that
everything.
Protests
There's-
outside the door, the posters.
Logan out there. Logan out there every day.
I'm just saying,
Doesn't
like,
connect.
Logan in full Ken cosplay turns up outside the door.
I'm speaking on a like.
Holding
I
bananas
understand
for
this.
no reason.
I understand this game quite well, but Ken, I definitely understand really well because I've actually put loads of time into breaking down how he plays, and that is one of the things that makes me realize you like in this balance patch. There's some things where you just did stuff, didn't even understand what you're doing it for, you know, like Ken got there, and obviously system changes, no DP. So Ken's got no DP and no 3-frame buttons. So he has to hold that shit on wake up. And he was like, good, I hate Ken's doing wake up DP, V trigger. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. You might hate that, but what does he do now then? Does
That's
he
the
just
question, actually, Logan. Like, take Akuma out of the game, because obviously the answer would be he switches to Akuma, right?
Yeah.
Take Akuma out of the game, and being someone who's always played characters who are at a disadvantage on the ground, how bad is Ken now? Like, in terms of like, if you play him and you're not taken to the air anymore, you got to engage these guys on the ground and get your reward and start your momentum.
Yeah.
Is he not still quite decent, legitimate character in the game now with that, or
I think I think he's
He'll
still,
always be at
you
least
know,
average because of the damage. And
I think he's a
corner
good mid-tier character because he's got that burst damage and he's got corner carry. But you've taken away at least half of the things that made him a top 5 character. You've not replaced them with stuff to play in another way. So you've definitely just nerfed him. You've just nerfed. It's the same way they've just nerfed Mika. They've just gone, right, you're coming down here, you know? Chun-Li, they took stuff away from her, but she's got like confirms of crouch short now. She can cancel V-trigger, cancel legs and fireball. So she's got more reliable ways of getting to. So say like everyone's complaining about Chun-Li just spamming crouch and medium punch,
Does Ken
right?
have nothing?
and
Or, like he has no buffs or something? Or like I didn't look at his list. So.
No. Didn't you
He's
hear? He
got-
got the target combo into the
He's got the
tatsu,
target
that way.
combo, and he's got that, and he's got the crouching medium punch. Has 1 extra frame of advantage on hit and block, but it's a frame slow.
What does
That's
that
what
mean
he's
though?
got.
Like because the back medium punch is the same. It's there to match the back medium punch frame data. So I mean,
No,
does run
it doesn't.
cancels
It's slower.
are run cancels better now or something? You know? One
Oh,
frame?
sorry, they made run like slower as well.
Really?
Really? So you know when you do the hard kick and you option select the run on
I'm
only
not
to
secretly really happy
cross
about
counts.
this. But yeah, okay.
the
Yeah,
run comes out a lot slower. So like it's a lot harder to time the tatsu. That's the thing, Kim. Like you're happy
Oh.
about this stuff. I understand that because it feels scrubby, and that's fine. Like take the scrubby stuff out. I'm happy to take out that silly air tatsu. I'm just going to jump at you from full screen and do heavy tatsu. Oh, it hit twice. Okay, let me just get a combo. for no reason, you know, taking out that stuff. But give him something to encourage playing in a different way, because as it stands, I don't understand how you're meant to play.
The changes now. Damn it.
I don't understand how you're meant to stay in, because he's +2, but it pushes out so far that you can't really, like, there's no throw fear, so you're just going to block. Okay, he's going to dash up, but dash is 15 frames and he's not got any 3-frame buttons, so realistically you should be able to react to that stuff. Like, a lot of that stuff's not legit. It's not legit, like, and you even see Momochi do it. And Momochi is the cleanest Ken in the universe, but even Momochi still pulls out that Aita shit.
Where's the Ken? Where's the Ken changes it? It's not on the.
Where's the Ken? Yeah, I don't know, but I'll just, you know, they're in my brain. I'm telling you what they are.
The thread on Reddit isn't. There's no Ken section.
Yeah, it's just a tombstone. But anyway, that's my thing. Like with Ken, I don't understand what you're trying to encourage people to do. I don't understand what you're trying to encourage people to play. What you're trying to dissuade them from doing the scrubby shit.
This
cool.
Is what you do. This is what you do. You see if Momochi sticks to Ken. If he doesn't stick to Ken, then you get it. Then you're like, okay, now character loyalty will not get you anywhere. Well.
Half of Momochi's openings come from confirming back medium punch in streams. Like, you see him do that, right?
Yeah.
You know, they go tap, they go for a throw. He presses that 4-frame back medium punch. They get hit, and he confirms it because he's godlike. And then the momentum turns around, and it's him. It's his turn now, and that happens so often. That shit's 5 frames now. That frames are what when you're playing at 0 range. That 1 frame makes a world of difference.
Oh,
you know,
they also took out his hit option select thingy. Like if
what comes out, with yeah.
If jab comes out,
yes. So basically, standing light punch. If you cancelled the 2nd or 3rd active frame, not the 1st frame, of the standing light punch,
on hit it can be converted.
It only comes out on hit, which you saw Momochi do as well. Another thing where he'd press jab at a certain range, and if you block it, nothing happens. If you hit, then you're getting medium Tatsu EXDP. They took that out because I don't think they took that out on purpose. I think they took it out because there's extra frame advantage on standing light punch, so that he can do back medium punch afterwards. So that was just like a convenient benefit. But again, that's a good tool. It might not necessarily meant to be in the game, but Ken players were taking advantage of it. So to take that out is another nerf. What else did they change? There was one other thing.
I don't mean to be rude though, but I don't want to change the name of our podcast to the Ken Podcast. So we can
what the hell are we talking about Ken for ages?
You guys keep asking about shit.
I don't even feel sorry for the Ken players, because honestly, when I look at what's happened to him, I still think the character's decent. The character's like, he's not screwed. You know, he's still going to be arguably top 10. You know, what we're complaining about potentially is he's been taken away from like a top 5 position, which is kind of deep because it's not been done in the most logical way. But I still think he's going to be sick. I still think he's going to be.
He's not shit. He's not trash at all. He's not trash. But it's just like, it's a frustrating thing to see that happen to your character and not really understand what happened.
He went hella far.
The damage! Now you see the damage. That's all I wanted.
Let's talk about your characters anyway.
That's all I wanted. I didn't want much.
What is that?
It's now it's your time, baby. You made it. Let's talk about you. How are the kids?
Boom. That's it.
Medium, yeah? Okay.
That's it. Listen.
No follow-up.
There's a counter hit for the first medium, right? So what's really cool about this is they've changed their stand medium kick to plus, which I knew they did, but it didn't sound like the most amazing buff. It was probably my favorite buff out of all of them. She's got this EX kunai reload, which I wasn't too excited about, but it's decent. But this one change, my problem with Ibuki for me is, you're going to give someone health like that, you need to justify it. You know, you see the things Laura can do, and she doesn't have health like that. So, you know, you're going to give someone health like that. She's always been that character. She's always been that.
You've got mix-ups like Armika, but you can do it twice around.
Don't get me started. Yeah. No, but generally,
you see how the roles just reversed here? Now you're super salty, and now Logan's trying
for me, if you're going to spend meter and resource, right, in the middle of your combo, it's because you're getting more reward for it, right? Currently, that doesn't really happen with Ibuki. That hasn't changed, though. I mean, that's still the case. I'd like that to change. But with this medium kick buff now being +5, I want to make sure I get to confirm that, but that's what I'm hearing from all the Ibuki guys. That's actually pretty decent because it's going to add like an extra 60, 70 damage to her bread and butter, which is kind of like, because everyone's relying so much on V-Trigger. That's not how I play her. V-Trigger's great, but I want to actually be able to play without having to rely on V-Trigger.
Has anything changed in regards to her V-Trigger?
So V-Trigger
wasn't there something about like the bombs? You can change the timing or something like that. What was it? Explodes quicker.
You can always change the timing on the bombs. You've always had.
So there's 3 different timing.
There was something about her V-Trigger though. Some change.
People were saying the V-Trigger was 2 bars, but the last 2 builds I played, PSX and they're still 3 bars. So I don't know if anyone got to play her on Friday at the party in London, but they're still 3 bars for the V-Trigger, which I think, to be honest with you, I'm not too bothered about. I think they kind of make.
Reloading her kunai is quicker or something, right?
EX. She has an EX kunai reload.
Okay, and that's.
So she can tackle her 1 bar, and she gets 3 kunais, and the recovery is faster than any kunai reload she does. So that's pretty decent. It's not bad at all. Yeah, she kind of needs that because the kunais do 0 damage, but they link into good corner carry and a bit of extra damage on combos, and the bombs, of course, as well. You're getting a ton more, mix-ups and fun when you got those kunais in there. But to be completely honest, I actually would like to see something like that, a kunai who's just limited to 5 or 6 with it, to actually do a bit of damage. That would make sense, but that's not going to happen for now. But overall, this buff could be the one little thing that she needed. I think she's a great character outside of that anyway. They just needed to justify her health, which really wasn't the case. That's all.
The video that you just showed, like Barog just flew literally across the whole screen. So after you land, is that the ender that you're gonna go for now?
So what I'd like this game to do, especially for characters like Ibuki, is if I'm going for an ender that keeps me closer, then okay, maybe it's not going to be that great damage. So limit my damage on Rider. But what I don't like about what they've done with Ibuki is, in Street Fighter 4 and in First Strike, if you end with like the heavy Kazagiri, which is like her uppercut kick, you don't get the best pressure afterwards, right? But if you end with that, you get a ton more damage, right? There's rational logic there. Same in Street Fighter 4. Sure. I'm going to end with something that doesn't knock you down and give me a meaty, but I'm going to get all this damage, right? Okay, I'll take that. Right now, I've got no reason to choose between 2. And that's why I don't like that linearness of a character as deep as Ibuki shouldn't be limited to such linearness. She should be able to express herself in whatever way she pleases without having to sacrifice too much. So if I'm going to end with Ryder to stay close, fine, limit my damage on Ryder. But why does Kazagiri do almost the exact same damage as Ryder? And if I add an EX bar to that, why does it still only do like 30 damage more? These are the things that I don't get.
The thing with all the major changes with the game. Okay, so just let's go over them. The DP invincibility thing, the white life not going down as quick as season 1. But throws in general throws are knockdowns, hard knockdowns or whatever you want to call it. They got nerfed like across the board, pretty much, right? So
frame advantage and follow-ups. Yeah,
I'm sure there's a formula for that. I think there is, right? Like, because a lot of people some characters coincidentally have like easy meaty throw setups now and stuff like that. Despite the distance. Where's I going with this?
Yeah. I mean, this is another thing this is a Street Fighter 5 thing. It's become like a theme to limit.
Oh, okay.
In any way which possible ways you can get a repeat situation or a meaty.
It looks like neutral is going to be a more of a focus now than follow-ups.
Yeah. They're trying to take away those easy air get-ins as well. I mean, I guess they're trying to make the game as honest as possible. I don't know how that's going to pan out. I don't know if that's going to be a good thing. That's going to be pleasing on the eye. But it's one of those things I personally can't say anything positive or negative about now until I see it.
We have to see how it goes. I'm welcoming it because it's more my style. But I think shut up. Yeah, I think change is good. Change is good. So let's see how it goes. And they didn't make the 1 year like statement that they did with season 1. Like we're not gonna change anything until the end. Like they could change it. They probably did that on purpose. So let's just see how it goes, and you won't be able to.
I'm excited. I hope the tone hasn't been anything other than that. I'm excited. I mean, obviously
I'm counting down the days, man. What is it? What the fuck is it? Today's the 90% charge. That's what it is. Today's the 18th. The 18.
Shall we talk about Dictator and have a quick chat about Laura, because I think Laura deserves 5 minutes.
No, I want to go back to Ken though.
Because the Laura players are pissing me off, to be completely honest. But she deserves 5 minutes.
Nah, man. You need to see what the meta's like before you can tell whether she's good, man. Because we can't tell. We can't tell whether she's going to be good or not.
Just real quick, like we've all seen Sonic's tweet video about that shit looks so easy. It looks so easy. It is.
Yeah,
bro, it is easy. Yeah, it's literally.
Hey, you have to walk forward sometimes, okay? Like after the fireball.
See, this is what I don't like in that, like, Laura is being given tools to make it easier to
she's gonna be so good. She's gonna have an.
You just know, but like, you see the way our Mika plays, they get you in the corner and then they just face roll, fucking pressure, like, you know, just get the stick and just, you know, just. I'm just gonna roll. I'm just gonna cycle through options, and if one hits you, then you know you're fucked, and we're gonna do it again. That's kind of what Laura is now. In that, before she had to take big risks, right, to get you in situations where you had to guess, because that's what a command grab character does. They put you in situations where you have to guess, and you have to be active. You can't sit there and block. You have to be active to get out of those situations.
And now she
can. Yes, so she can put you in a situation where she's +2, right? After a touch, after a hit, she's +2. Cool. Now she can do crouch and light kick, crouch and light punch, elbow again. She's still +2. So if you try and dash out or jump out, you're pinned to where you are because she's got that crouch and light kick, which is going to keep you there because you're going to get hit second frame. You can't get out of it. So that's like a solid way of pressuring. It's not like she has to do like all this weird, crazy shit to pressure you. She just got like simple hit confirms. It's like Mika would just do like, okay, cool, you stand there, I'm just going to jab you.
It's safe.
I've never been a fan of moves that travel forward and leave you at plus. You know what I mean? Because it kind of takes away the skill in the game. If she can now do forward fierce and then she's just like in your face with plus frames, it's like. Okay, whose idea was that? Like, really?
Yeah, I wasn't joking. If people actually found out who was in charge of doing that, man, that dude.
For me,
I think like
underrated characters in the game, and I think Laura is one of them anyway. And Laura's the good Lauras will agree with me, and then the Lauras who are struggling will argue against me for that.
I think you've got characters in this game. There's two sets of characters in this game, in my opinion, right? You've got characters that are realistically good enough to win major tournaments on their own, and there's probably 6 of those.
Yeah,
you know, you've got like Ken, Ryu, Chun-Li, Cammy, probably Nakali. Pick another one of those, whoever you want it to be. Nash,
Karine,
Nash or Karine, probably.
Yeah,
I don't think Mika can win tournaments on her own. That's why I've never seen when I see Mika in like top 3 in the game, or like Guile number 3. These characters are not top 3 characters on their own. They're top 3 when you pick them in their matchups. Yes, 100%. Like if you're like Do, and you're just picking, I'm gonna pick Guile on every Shoto because or I'm gonna pick Mika here, or whatever. Then that's great. But I don't think they're characters that you can solo main.
I think Mika is personally, but Guile,
I don't think Mika.
I don't think the only one that has come the closest.
Special.
He hasn't won, but he's got second a billion times.
I don't think you can pick Mika the whole way through at an elite level and consistently win tournaments. But and then you've got everyone else, and I don't think there's anyone in the game that's so bad that they can't win like a regional, or you can't win a set with them. Like I don't think there's anyone in the game that's that bad because, F-Champ will beat a bag of people with Dalsim. Xian we've seen do really well with Fang. Snake Eyes said that Zangief was terrible, and then literally the next week, this guy Stupendous from the same event appeared and started beating people. So like, whilst I feel.
That's just matchups, though, right? I mean,
yeah, but
so Zangief's actually a really good character, but he's got 2 or 3 incredibly bad.
Yeah,
matchups.
and like you'll get to a certain point where like you have to work too hard to realistically win the tournament, but you can do well with that character. There's no one who's like Dan tier or like Ultra DJ tier, or do you know what I mean? Like there's no There's no characters that like if you're picking them, you're waiting. Even Bison, Bison's
Bison doing things.
Bison is probably the most linear character in the game, in his approach.
He is the most ass character in season 1.
He's not the most ass character in the game.
He's got some of the most explosive damage.
We need to innovate.
Yeah, I need to dash twice and do a slow ass stand roundhouse. That's innovation right there. Yeah. Out of the box, baby. I should dash into overhead with Ryu also later on.
Yeah, I think you should do that. If it was plus, then cool. He's got an overhead you can combo off of. Who was it? Oh, Laura as well. Like in V-Trigger, she's +3. In V-Trigger, she's +3. Why? Meaty's +6. The meaty overhead that you do from the reset, which is easy as shit to do, by the way. So like you have time.
Fem. Has Logan been losing the lower players throughout the whole season?
What do you mean?
No, I don't. I don't give a shit about Laura players. I'm just saying, like, it's ridiculous. Like, you've given her tools to make her.
Kim, listen, do you not actually agree with this right now? Do you not think this is a bit absurd? Does this not sound a bit crazy?
Yeah. No, Laura's gonna be really good. Laura's gonna be really good.
She's got.
I get it.
She's got overhead. That's +3 on block.
It's not a +3 on block. It's +3 on hit.
Sorry, on hit.
+3 on hit. Jesus Christ.
+6 on meaty.
But she can only do stand jab into elbow afterwards. So
and then she's +2. Then she can do 4-frame crouch and light kick. So what are you going to do then? Are you going to jump out of command grab? No, because she did crouch and light.
I'm going to jump OS because it's still in the game.
You're going to jump OS. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I'm going to jump OS. And then you'll chase me down with an elbow. Actually, I don't know what she's going to chase me down with, but I'm sure it's not going to be that much.
Jump OS is decent against her.
She can actually do... yeah, she can punish you for it, by the way. So yeah, that's what high level
with elbow, or overhead, or what? What's she gonna do?
No, she does forward fist to chase you down, and then something else because she's a cunt.
Is it
no, but she punishes your landing frames, and you get wrecked, and then you're closer to the corner. And
listen, the thing is, all the things that Laura's complained about for me, she has an answer for. You know, her anti-air game takes too much concentration. It's still the best anti-air in the game. You know what I mean?
Kev can't really jump her.
Really bad. You can get in and out like lightning, right? So her footsies aren't great, but her mobility is ridiculous.
I feel like the good Lauras, like the really talented players that are using Laura, they're going to show themselves by getting around her limited neutral game.
That's it.
Because the scary thing about Laura is when she gets a touch on you, then you legit have to guess. Now, I think you legit have to guess now where she's got those strings from low crouch and light kick, and the fact that she can obliterate your health bar in 3 seconds. It's really It's really scary because she doesn't have to go for like super risky options. She can keep you there with crouch and light kick. That's really, really strong. Being able to do that, to go low when she's got the fear of the overhead as well. So imagine you've just done your DP, you're floating in the sky. She does activate V trigger, melts off 50% of your health bar straight away. Then you're in the mix up. She's got safe options. She's got easy hit
her EX Fireball mix up, her main mix up, right? Still in the game.
Yeah. Affy was saying that. Affy was saying that her EX Fireball in V trigger now, like you can get extra extensions for some reason.
Yeah. So I read that. Yeah.
So you get like the second, the third hit or something. You can get another fierce in between or some shit. Like she just does more damage.
Yeah, more hits, pushback or something. To be even more creative in these situations. I'm not complaining about Laura. I think Laura's awesome. So I'm a Laura player. So I'm not complaining, but I do think some of the paths have been.
I just feel like what they've done with her. I feel what they've done with her is given her more ways to play like you played with Mika in the first game, which is get a hit and then just cycle through options until some shit works, which is not an intelligent way of playing. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I don't like that. I don't like anything that is not an intelligent way of playing.
I think if their basic theory on the game is to not have the repeated scenarios, then I think that Laura and season 1 Mika, they go against that, right? So
Yeah.
Laura doesn't give a shit about all these knockdowns and stuff because most of the first stuff is from getting mid-screen resets anyway.
it's kind of
Yeah,
like
don't
cross
worry.
second. Like
Think
all
about
the standing resets were like the best resets.
Yeah, exactly, because there's nothing you can do about them. You know, there's no, I've got delayed this, I've got back. No, it doesn't matter if you've got back roll this. You'll get an air reset. You don't know whether I'm going to be underneath you or I'm going to cross you up with the overhead V skill and the fireball's going to hit you from behind.
Sick.
Like,
It's actually sick.
No,
how many characters can consistently put you in that situation? These lawyers keep bitching. Like, how many characters can do that? Mid-screen as well.
Mid-screen, hardly, you know,
Well,
Ibuki.
okay, well, this is what needs to happen. They need to have tournaments before CPT that actually involve real money, so that people actually like use their real tech. Because right now, like you know what I'm saying, like they're not gonna show, they're not gonna show the real stuff until CPT starts.
Yeah,
I don't know if Capcom's gonna dish out that kind of money or whatever, but you know what I'm saying. Like the real stuff isn't gonna happen until March, or I don't know if you guys have the secret info on that when that starts, but you know what I'm trying to say. So speaking of, let me close up the Bison thing real quick. It'll be real quick because I know what the fuck I'm talking about, so don't worry about it, guys.
I really like that. Give them a 3-frame. I think giving them a 3 frames the greatest news I've heard.
That is
the most rational news they could have given the guy.
That is actually the main buff that matters the most, because when you look at these beta hack changes, there's a long list of stuff, but most of it is just they're just trying to sidetrack stuff. There's a lot of actual hidden nerfs in there. It's just I don't know if there's a lack of Bison players, but there's a lot of stuff that is being overlooked. Devil's Reverse. Previously, it was +1 or +2, depending on the height that is blocked. But now it's I don't know if this is a typo because it doesn't make sense, but he wrote it as 0 to -1. 0 to -1. I don't know if that's supposed to be 0 to +1, but if it's -1, it's a big deal because Devil's Reverse is a huge part of his mobility, right? Several Bison players that have played at the PXS build and Problem also mentioned, Inferno actually hits them higher, slightly higher. I don't know if non-Bison players will be able to tell that, but his Oki after it lands is different now. You have less frame advantage, so I don't know.
Can't he juggle after it as well now?
After hard punch Inferno, you get jab blast. Yeah.
See, all of the buffs.
Yeah, I saw a video of that. That was sick.
I saw someone win a tournament with that. Just that, it was amazing.
Top 2 in the game, fam.
What else is there?
Has he got any wake up invincibility at all? No?
I never played it, so I can't say. But apparently, V Trigger EX Head Stomp has more invincibility. I don't know if it's truly invincible. But it's -2 now.
I'd imagine it's 1 first frame invincible. Probably isn't.
That needed to be balanced, to be fair.
But no, that move wasn't used at high level because imagine, because it always tracks you, right? Since it always tracks you, you know where it's always gonna go. It's not a tricky move, so you can't do it against Ryu. Ryu would just parry on reaction every time he sees you go up in the air, and coincidentally, it also stops Devil's Reverse. So you have to be a Bison player to like kind of really get these things. Yipes, he plays Bison on the side. I can't say that he's like the best Bison or anything, but he says walk speed's a little bit different, and most people are saying that too, but it's not a part of the change log, so I can't. Maybe you can comment on that since you played the 800 versions on that, but you know, if he has different walk speed, that would
still look slow as shit to me.
Yeah, it would help out his anti-air issues, which will always be there. It will always be there. Yeah.
I don't understand why they took out the first. Do you remember how Crouch Fierce was in like the original betas?
Of
Street Fighter 5.
Yeah, do you remember? It was fast.
It wasn't even OP. It was fast. It wasn't OP, but it still had a vulnerable angle behind the.
It was probably like 7-8 frames. Yeah, it was like 7-8 frames. Like it was a legit anti-air.
I don't even think it's a bad anti-air now. It's just the angle of it. The main issue is the angle, because most people, because in general, cross-ups are like basically gambling for free, right? Like you just make them block something, and then there's your frame trap, there's your mix-up. But Bison can't stop that.
Punch.
Huh?
Jump medium punch is free against cross-up.
Jump medium punch is not as good.
Dash. Forward dash.
22 frames.
You have the answers. You have the answers.
Dash.
That's strange. There's like a voice in the background here. I don't know where that's coming from.
I don't know. Why does it have an English accent? So weird.
Complaining and find the answers.
Yeah. Jump back medium punch, man. Just do it.
you have to use Bison.
If we have the same angle, I've got amazing anti-airs until they get behind until they get there, and they took away the one button that does that. So.
You like these Chun-Li players that just refuse to anti-air with anything other than light kick. You just don't want to accept the other answers. That's what it is. You're like, I want to light kick. Why can I not light kick here? I should be able to light kick at every opportunity to be able to light kick.
It does take concentration to air, but now listen. Correct me if I'm wrong. I heard Samad saying some stuff about the air-to-air bounce back is better now. So if you air-to-air, you don't necessarily land on negative frames. Is that has anyone felt that on the new build or? Because right now the air-to-air reward is really bad in this game.
I didn't play enough to notice that, to be honest with you, but I definitely did. I definitely did a jump forward air-to-air with Ken and got punished when I landed.
No one airs to air in Europe, confirmed. They just.
No one should air to airing unless it puts you in a juggle state. Unless you're a character, it's kind of like the reward in this game is really bad. It's really
jump
bad.
Jump forward air to air is not a good idea. Like you're basically may as well block.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what you're gonna have.
If you always landed, I know it depends on the time that you do it, but if you always landed before they landed, then it'd be like not bad, you know. But it's never that's the case. Yeah.
Because that was the thing we were talking about.
In all the Street Fighters, you always landed before they landed because the hits bounced up.
Actually, air to air was pretty goddamn good. And no one did it because there was no damage. In Street Fighter 4, it was really good. You could actually do like look under stuff like with everyone.
Yeah, it was sick.
Yeah. Bison has another change that people are overlooking. Basically, EX Devil's Reverse is not. You can't go to the other side anymore. Because when you initially go up like this, before you can go like way above their head and do a cross-up or a fake cross-up, but now you basically always land in front. And also on block, EX Devil's Reverse, before they would just do a swipe a Psycho X, right? Literally for free. Which is, yes, I do admit, very brain dead and pretty good. And now that he has 3-frame light, they had to take it away at some point. Now there's a gap by at least 4 frames, according to change notes. So people with 4-frame moves can interrupt it in between. Apparently, stand roundhouse after Devil's Reverse is still a true block string, so maybe that's a new go-to move.
Well, if it's a true block string, that means you can press buttons for free. It's just block string, right? So that's bad. You want at least a gap. You want a little bit of a gap, so you're gonna have to manually delay it a little bit.
I'll either
do
like having to manually delay things in Street Fighter 5. I mean, geez,
that's crazy.
Sounds like a nightmare, right? Good grief. Why can't everything just perfectly just be done for you to this situation?
Well, most of it is though. Most of it is.
I forgot. You know what? I forgot one thing about Laura as well. Sorry, one more thing about Laura, because like she had trouble pressuring people with her pressuring 3-framers is completely different to her pressuring characters with 4-framers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know this fame because you used her. Like the setups you can get against people that can't press 3-frame buttons on wake up. Well, it was like a whole different game you're playing. She's got an extra frame advantage on most of her knockdowns now, so she gets the same setups on 3 frames. So that's a big deal. Yeah,
I thought that was the one thing they nerfed, that her knockdown plus frames were going down.
No, she gets an extra frame of advantage off of medium shoulder. You know, the ender from that.
Yeah.
So she gets an extra frame off that. So she's +2 after a dash, I think. No, +1. She's +1 after a dash. So yeah, she can. It's +18, so she's +1 after a dash. So she does light punch. It will beat anything you do on Michael.
I mean, we haven't played the Christmas version like you have, so I can't even comment.
So yeah, she basically doesn't have to worry in those situations whether you've got a 3-frame or a 4-frame, which means that she's more consistent across the cast of characters, which is invariably push you up in terms of your effectiveness. So there you go. It's another thing that I forgot to mention. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm really interested to see how the overall changes affect things. You know, the grey life, I think, is going to be really interesting for some characters positively, like Dalsim and Bison.
Before you summarise on that note, are V Reversal still doing grey life? Because I think I saw it do that when I was playing the build, and I was hoping it would be gone by the time.
Yeah, I think so. I think it is.
God damn it!
And they're apparently they're faster now. I don't know if it's a universal thing, but they do look
again.
Faster.
We weren't able to. We were playing, so we weren't really able to like fully check and test whether it was fast. But yeah, it's interesting. I think for like pressure characters or zoning characters, then that white life thing's going to be good. I think if you're like Zangief, it's not good for you. I think if you're a low health character as well, that shit's not good. Like Ibuki doesn't want to be taking 20% grey life and then praying she doesn't get thrown because that shit's gonna hurt.
Yeah, man, big time.
That stuff goes down so slow. No, I'm saying that the speed at which it goes, the grey life goes down is so slow.
No, I mean,
Kim's just smiling.
I just feel so sorry for Ibuki. That's
all of the psycho acts.
Hey,
all of the psycho medium punch. Yeah.
She isn't necessarily winning tournaments, but you know, she's two exceptional performances now that she's got a bit of damage. Hopefully, there'll be more to come.
What about the new characters? Season 2, 5 brand new characters.
Now,
No
you guys actually
nostalgia,
think? I mean, Kim, you speak Japanese, right? Was that? People have been talking about this mistranslation. Is it actually 5 brand new characters, or is it just 5 new characters?
I didn't even look it up, to be honest.
I've seen different shit written in different press releases and stuff. So, like, one place it says 5 characters new to the Street Fighter V universe. In another place it says 5 entirely new characters. Another place it says 5 new characters. You know, I don't know.
Is there an article somewhere I can easily look up?
Yeah, if you look on the event hubs, most of the sources up. So they're using the blurb from the PlayStation Store, where it tells you what you get.
Yeah,
they use it.
Post about Street Fighter V though.
Yeah, so I don't know. Personally, I feel it would be a bad idea to have entirely new characters because you want to draw. You basically want to draw more people to try Street Fighter V, and I don't feel that by putting in 5 new characters that no one's ever seen before, that's going to encourage people that aren't hardcore players to try the game out. Because if you look at like the hardcore scene of Street Fighter V, it's really healthy. Like tournament tendencies are really high. You know, there's a really active worldwide scene for competitive Street Fighter V. It's in a good place competitively. I feel like that needs like the most minimal of attention. You know, the balance changes are cool. You know, it keeps the game fresh for people so they don't get bored of it. That's great. Having that sort of system is important. Adding new characters every year is important because it changes the meta game up and it keeps things shifting. And, you know, people just don't get stagnant with the game, which is really important for keeping the hardcore players that are playing it, you know, every week rather than playing it for 2 weeks and throwing it away. If you want to get more sales and more numbers in, then I feel like it's important to do one of 2 things. You either try and encourage people to try it out, so you just do a free-to-play model, which they're not going to do because it's a console release.
Never.
Or you give... I don't think never. I think never's definitely incorrect because I can definitely see this game being free-to-play season 4 or even possibly season 3.
Well, I mean, like, I want it to happen, but it's not going to happen anytime soon.
But if you look at the sales figures from the first year, they did like 1.4 million in the first 3 months, and then for the rest of the year, they did 100,000. So, like, realistically, selling the game's kind of irrelevant after the initial launch because it's not like they're making any sales. You may as well just give it away for free and hope people buy DLC content. But for me, I feel like for people to want to try the game out that didn't buy it, if you didn't buy Street Fighter V when it came out, giving them like a bunch of new characters is not gonna do that. Do you know what I mean?
They gotta repackage it.
Yeah, I think they need to do a Game of the Year version with all the Season 1 content in. When I say all the Season 1 content, I just mean the 6 characters. Like, I don't mean stages and costumes and shit. I just mean 6 characters. Give people the 6 characters from Season 1, plus the game, plus the Season 2 updates and whatever, and maybe throw in a stage. Maybe not even that. No, definitely not that. Just jump them in as if they were at the same point as everybody else at the start of Season 2. So here's all the content that everyone else has got. It's $60, but you get the game and all the characters from the first season in one disc. Here you go, blah, blah, blah. Throw in those fucking game modes that people pretend they want, like arcade mode and story mode and all that shit, so you can get good reviews in magazines. But for me, I would say I would have followed what they did with Super in that they had quite a lot of characters for Super. They had 10 for Super, I think, when it came out. So We went from seeing Street Fighter 4 in the arcades to with, was it 16 characters on launch in the arcades? I think.
Something like that.
Then you had another.
18,
Then you had another
18.
8. Then you had like another 8 at home, right? And then they dropped another 10 for Super. I would have liked to have seen personally. I would have liked to see them start season 2 with an update that's like $15, $16. So you get all the balance changes. You get maybe a Kuma stage, and you get 4 characters, right? At the start of the season. You get 4 characters at the start of the season, and just make that Akuma, Sagat, fucking Blanca, because people recognize him, and maybe one new character. So you've got enough content that's recognizable to the average person to be like, oh, okay, Street Fighter. It sounds like they fixed the problems that everyone was complaining about that I didn't understand. 8 frames of lag. I don't know what that means, but let me just talk about it. You know, oh, the ranking doesn't work. The online, blah, blah, blah. No arcade mode, blah, blah, blah. Just throw that shit in, collect it all together. And then, rather than trying to attract new players with characters that you don't know, you've got no attachment to, and you're not going to respond to them anyway, you don't really give a shit. You do them throughout the rest of the season. So you do 4 characters at the start of the season, and you sequentially drop the other 6, one every 2 months throughout the rest of the year, so that you've got stuff for people to be buying into consistently through the season. And then up the fucking quality of, you know, and the releases of DLC stuff like costumes. You know, give Chun another 50 costumes because she needs that.
Stable characters.
You know, yeah, man, you need to give her some more costumes. I'd just like to see more of that, man. I really feel that this game's going to sustain itself by just enticing people to come and play, and then selling them decently priced DLC. I think the DLC is mad overpriced as well. I'm not going to lie. I think they would have probably made way more money for the Capcom Cup if that DLC had been like $10 rather than 20 or 25 or whatever the hell it was. It shouldn't have been that much.
I don't really even agree with the
do you
money
own
going to
Destiny?
Say it again.
Do you own Ring of Destiny, that stage? Did you buy that?
I do not.
Okay, and you're like a player that plays a lot, so.
I mean, why?
Did you buy Ring of Destiny?
So what, me?
Did you buy the Ring of Destiny stage?
I bought everything, even though I hardly play.
Yeah, I bought everything as well, even though I play. But we're just, you know, I think we're the exception rather than the rule.
Just a blind man.
But yeah, I think they should have just done. I agree with like that compendium model because it works in other esports. You know, it's obviously famous in Dota. But I just feel the price point was really high, and they would have probably sold more numbers and therefore generated more revenue. Because you know, like you work in sales firm, you know that if you bring the cost down but you drastically increase the volume, that's better for everybody.
Like Friday, baby. Cyber Monday is still the highest selling day in the year on the internet, man. Yeah,
exactly. So
you were saying, Kim, that you don't agree with the money going to the prize pool or something. That's an interesting. Before we shoot off, what do you mean by that?
Well, if it's gonna go to one person, I don't agree with that. If it's gonna go to a lot of the players who put in a year's worth of effort traveling and playing, I think it makes a lot more sense. And I think it also helps you push that idea off to other people who are unfamiliar with the idea of that's where the money's going. For me, knowing that, okay, well, I mean, let's just be honest. We were thinking maybe like Tokido or someone Japanese or whatever was going to win the tournament, right? And I was like, these guys get money already. Like, I know that the top players, it's actually their full-time job, so they don't really need that. But like at least half of the players that are playing in the CPT tournament, they are not full-time top players or full-time sponsored players. I want them to get rewarded, you know. Or I also.
I mean, it would be nice to do like a thing where maybe you're putting the money towards, you know, flying players from smaller up and coming communities to bigger
contests or anything, man. Like just other ideas that aren't being explored right now. That money, like
to be fair, it didn't all go to one person because it just buffed the prize pot as a whole. So like $100,000 of the 300K went to Knuckle Do, and 40K of it.
What was the lowest placing like rank that got
paid? Top eight.
Top eight.
Yeah.
But still, there's 32 players, right? That's still not enough, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like I think everyone should be rewarded. That I mean, if you
Well, they
got a
were.
free plane ticket, it's not, like,
Flights and
it's not a big deal. That's not a big deal. Not to me.
of course it is. That's like $2,000.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal.
Crazy. Don't give a fuck. Crazy. I don't give a fuck.
I agree though. It would be nice to see them do stuff for the community as a whole, like, and maybe encourage, you know,
I have this vision of like season 2
or
or season
DRAs or whatever flying around the world and competing, and that would be cool. I'd be up for that.
You just turn on Street Fighter 5 and the user interface pops up with like the latest news.
Oh, please don't get started.
Tournaments here, and hey, check out this modded costume that now you can vote for, so that we could actually, you know, choose these costumes instead of like Hoochie Chun-Li or whatever they think is cool. You know,
B-girl Chun-Li.
Actually,
inclusion is
there's so much wasted real estate on that home screen as well. Like Fem, you must know as well. Like you look at like how general web design isn't done. Like that home menu, those big chunky buttons which don't need.
Bro, it's being redesigned. It's gonna be.
Is it?
Yeah.
Says who?
Just new art. It's like 4 or 5.
That's not a redesign. It's just new pieces of art in that small box that doesn't get used for anything.
When you see something different, it's different, bro.
Yeah, seriously, on a real as a business, there's a lot they could be doing in that space, man. Like
of course.
the casual guys, especially entering that interface every day, who still don't even know there's a competitive scene for this thing. There's so much they could do.
You don't even know there's a Capcom Pro Tour. Why are you not promoting the premier events on there? Why are you not sending people to like the Capcom Pro Tour homepage? Why are you not doing video content and putting it on there? You know, links to that. Why am I not seeing top 5 moments from, you know,
that's it. It's so high. That's it. Everyone loves that shit.
Screen. Why is it not in there, man? Like, put it in there. Shit. Like, you've got a login page. You look at like Valve and those companies. They use those home pages to inform people, and I don't know if it's
to do neither. It's not.
No, you just hire someone in each different major territory to do it. Like, it's not going to cost you a lot. Yeah, it's going to cost, but it's not going to cost you a huge amount. Just get a community manager in each area to do it. That's their job, right? Just get them to update it every week with content.
It's too logical. Stop, Logan. Stop. I don't think I can take it. I can't take it. Just hire all 3 of us, and we'll do it for some of cash monies, not fight money.
Double my salary. Cash monies.
So season 2, brand new characters. We're done with that. I personally think if there's a mix, I mean, maybe they're already doing what you're talking about, Logan. There's Akuma. We recognize Akuma. He's one of the most recognizable characters.
Yeah.
Maybe the next one's going to be, you know, fucking Anthony or something. You know. And the second character is going to be Sagat. It might be Sagat already.
I think Sagat's in there. I think Sagat's in there.
Yeah, I think Sagat's in there. I think I'm of the strong opinion that there will be some Street Fighter historical characters, at least 1 or 2 in this 5 list. I don't believe all 5 are going to be brand new. I think it would be suicide to make all 5 brand new. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like a name change when you're a big established company and you change your name. It's the biggest, hardest thing to pull off, because you lose all the effort and all the hard work and all the recognition that you've built over the years. And you don't take advantage of it, and your name's changed, and people no longer associate. The people who would have recognized who you were no longer recognize who you are. It would just make no sense to not include some familiar names, because it's just gonna draw the right attention in. That's it, you know.
Even like returning Street Fighter 4 characters, I would have liked to see, because they're so. I mean, we played story mode in July, whenever the hell it was. It was July that story mode came out, right? Decapfrey's basically a finished character in that shit. Like,
is she really?
Yeah, she's got a full move set of her own.
There's a modded version of her, and she's like super glitchy.
Oh, she's definitely super glitchy. She's not actually finished, but like she's the most developed opponent in that thing. That's not.
I was actually quite impressed. They spent so much time on these like fake characters, Peter and DiCaprio and all the dolls.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty impressive. Weird, man. It was weird. So I think, and given that. So for me, if you were not gonna, it just feels like a waste. If you're gonna put a story mode in the game, right, like a cinematic story mode that's 3 hours long, yeah, and then you're gonna introduce a shitload of new characters that we've never seen before next year, why would you not introduce them through the story mode so that we have some sort of connection with them? Like, if you're not giving me
Well, we already know the answer
As
to
that,
this, but
if you're not giving me Ed, if you're not giving me any of those other dolls that we actually saw prominently, if you're not giving me these characters that you've actually introduced and teased through the thing, through the story mode, and you're just going to give me ones that we've never seen before and have no, like, we don't know what, I don't know what to think, that you're not going to get the same impact. You know, you want to release a new character and everyone to be like, wow, I'm so hyped for blah blah blah, you know. And it's a lot more difficult to have a character that you've never seen before. You don't have any like preconceptions of what they're going to be like, to be hyped for that character, because all you're going on is like how super sick the animations are, and like
it's just how it works.
I'm going to get a cinematic critical art, and that's about it. They're going to have like some moves, and I'm not going to know whether they're good or not. Whereas when people see reveals of characters that they know, they lose their shit because, oh my god, I'm seeing Alex do fucking Dust Boot in 3D. I'm seeing Urian tear his suit off, you know, like in 3D. I've never seen it before. This is fucking crazy. We're all going mad for it, you know. Like, they're the hype moments, not
take my money. Take my money now.
Exactly. Like, you need to at least introduce these characters through this. So I don't really understand why you'd have a story mode and not introduce the characters in the story mode as well. Like, you've got Apples in there loads, Sea Vipers in there loads, the Capre's in there basically the whole way through. She's like a major character in the story mode. Mm-hmm. So why would you not have these characters in the game?
I think obviously I think a lot of people appreciate the thought that all the thought that we're putting into this, but I think a lot of it has to do with, I think no matter what they do, good or bad decisions, the kind of bad part in this is that we're still gonna pay money for season 2. We are. No, but I mean,
yeah, but it doesn't matter.
They're working towards us
money.
now.
The issue is getting more people to pay money towards it.
Exactly.
It's not. If you accommodate the competitive community or the hardcore players, then you're going to have like a glass ceiling that you're never going to go above. It's about doing stuff.
Yeah.
It's about doing things twofold.
Outside the box.
It's about doing things twofold. You need to do things that pop the community and give us like a huge groundswell of positive support, so that people see us going, wow, this game's fucking sick, rather than, oh man, Street Fighter 5 sucks and the online sucks and the lag sucks and, you know, the game's easy mode and it's cheap and crap.
Like, it's ignorant to think that they haven't thought about that, you know. But it's obviously the decisions that they're making now leads me to.
But then you also need to do stuff that makes the average person go, raw. Like, I remember that. I want to try that out. Sure. That's why Street Fighter 4 was so successful, because you went from a game that tried all this shit that they're trying to do now, the lowest selling Street Fighter game in the history, Street Fighter 3, which threw all the characters out the window and tried to give you all new characters. How did that work out? He had to bring out Third Strike, which brought all of those characters back that we wanted again. You're going back to that model. What people want to see is shit that they're familiar with in some way, or they want to go and try something out that everyone's speaking really positively about. They're the two ways you get people to try Street Fighter 5 out. You give them Sagat, Akuma, Blanca, stuff that they remember from Street Fighter 4, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know who Anthony is. Who is Anthony? Have you just made him?
He wears glasses. He's from Nigeria, and he has a really good fireball. It goes both ways. Bam, like that. You can't jump over it, dude.
He sounds sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I think. But yeah, man, I feel like those would be.
The stage is in replay.
I feel like those would be the ways in which you get people to engage that didn't, like, they saw Street Fighter 5, they didn't buy it. What's going to make them buy Street Fighter 5 next year? It's going to be hearing people speak positively about it, and it's going to be seeing shit that makes them excited. And I think, like, seeing 6 characters that they've never seen before is not going to make them excited. So hopefully what will happen is the game's going to be so much fun and everything's going to be sick and fixed so well that all they're going to do is hear people like praise Street Fighter 5 and then they'll have to try it out.
Street Fighter 5 is fighting game of the year, by the way. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about though.
Appreciate that. I definitely think it is fighting game of the year. It is the best competitive endeavor out there.
Such a Logan response. That's the best.
I actually completely agree with that, by the way.
But yeah, I just think that
continue.
yeah, I want Street Fighter. I want Street Fighter to sell really well. I want loads of people to play it. I want there to be a huge player base. You know, I want it to sell millions and millions. That's just my opinion on the effect these things will have. I definitely don't think.
My thought is that
but just to confirm, we don't actually know it is like brand new character.
Yeah, we don't know.
We're just going by what's told. On
The thing is, if they put all their money into let me just say first, I get your point. I agree with most of it. I do think that a new old character, new character, old character, new character, some kind of model like that will work out. It's probably the best way to make season 2 happen. I just think that if you put all your cards, if you bank on nostalgia all the time, then you bank on same expectations. You know, like I don't want to see Bison stage again as a new stage. I don't care. I don't want to see, you know, like Guile's theme being remixed again. Okay, you know, like it's not cool anymore. You know, like okay, I get that it's important, but it shouldn't be every new content that's out there. You know, like
it's fun. That's fun the balance though, isn't it? You know, between the two.
Yeah.
You know, you have that and some of the stuff that Logan mentioned as well. No,
some new IPs. Like maybe bring back Street Fighter 4 characters at least. You know, like. Because you have 8 years, or is it 8 years? Whatever it is, right? 8 years with those characters. So at least let's build those characters up. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
All right, and so we talked about Capcom Cup Season 2 in 3 days. We talked a lot about Ken. Ken is not good at all.
Ken is
I think Ken's good. I think he's good, solid, upper mid tier character now.
Useless now.
Yeah.
Fucking dead, man. Dead.
Yeah. But yeah, that is our 19th episode. Thanks, Fem F Word, for showing up. Let's make this a regular thing, please.
Yeah, man. Hey, I'm down. You know, I love debating with you guys. Yeah, and there's going to be plenty more to talk about in the coming weeks. So
we're doing our podcast in like 24 hours. Yeah. So I mean, all our information is right here.
Let's meet back on Thursday when it drops. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because it's not hard to coordinate with different time zones at all.
No. Well, hopefully soon it'll be a bit easier. But yeah.
Yeah. Well,
at least we're only in 2 time zones now.
That's true. Do you guys live next? It looks like you guys are next door, actually. Like you're in the same room.
Yeah, the white background, right?
Yeah. If you look at the overlay that.
Yo, what's up? He's here.
There's a random washing machine right over here for no reason. Doesn't quite work out.
Kim's in his spacious Tokyo mansion.
Spacious.
Yeah.
I just cooked some.
That's the whole apartment, by the way. Like you see that over your shoulder. That's the bed right there. I know how Japanese apartments are.
I sleep actually inside the washing machine.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I want to save $300, a month. So that's what I do. Okay. Anyway, all right, guys. Thanks for watching. See you guys.
Thanks for having me, man. Hey.